If you are running a business or you are in a leadership role in a business, the chances are you've barely got any headspace or time to even think about improving your health. You're constantly dealing with stress, deadlines, finances, and that is not even mentioning the obligations on top of all of that with events both for the business and with life, the home bills you've got to pay. And if you've got a young family with little kids, they probably steal at least some of your sleep each night as well. I work with business leaders every single day, people who are smashing it when it comes to the business side of things. They feel like they've let themselves go. On the outside, they look quite successful, but inside, they're feeling absolutely knackered, they're carrying extra weight, and they are low on energy each day. And they are also typically worrying about what that actually does mean for their long-term health. This is exactly why I've created this channel, The Business of Health, to help fix those exact problems. Not with bullshit fads, not another cookie cutter magical plan that's going to solve everything in 15 minutes and give you abs, but with the only approach that I've actually seen work from the last 10 years of experience I've got. So in this video, I'm going to explain why I specifically help business leaders, and then more importantly, I'll break down the real thing that makes long-term change actually happen. So, my name's George Vernon. I live in a little village in South Staffordshire with my girlfriend Soph, where we both grew up. I'm the founder of GV Coaching, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Really original name. GV Coaching is a health optimization program designed specifically for leaders, and where I also give keynote presentations to leaders in those businesses and also for their teams. I did not fall into this by accident. I've been obsessed with health and performance for over 16 years now. It started for me when I was 11 years old. I walked into my local amateur boxing gym, and one of the reasons for that was to get fit for football, but the main reason was that I was a really anxious kid. I essentially worried about everything, so the thinking process at the time was that if I could get just a little bit tougher, maybe I'd stop feeling like that. And in all honesty, boxing definitely helped over the years. It was essentially exposure therapy with a gum shield. And just as a little side note, I recently filmed a podcast with Dr. Ansar. He's a top orthopedic surgeon in the UK, and it will be dropping onto Spotify very, very soon. He asked me if coaching and speaking on camera and to people came naturally, and I said it absolutely did not. At school, when I was a lot younger, around that time I was very anxious. My personality was described by someone who I went to school with as like a blank piece of paper, to give you just a little bit of a insight into how I used to hide away and I'd just never put myself out there. And it was only until I went to the boxing gym that really changed. And now I can speak on camera in front of lots of people on stage without much thought, because what I told Dr. Ansar was that after years of getting punched in the face, my brain goes, well, at least they're probably not going to knock me out. And also, it can't be as bad as the time I went to spar someone when I was about 17 years old, and I thought it was going to be relatively a nice, easy spar. I ended up getting absolutely battered, and also, just to rub salt in the wound, they posted it all over social media, and I got a message from our group chat at the time, all boxers, taking the mick essentially, which was brutal, but I tend to think, well, it probably isn't going to get worse than that. But as you can probably hear, I boxed competitively for 8 years. I ended up having 33 fights. And during that time, I got to a half decent regional level, which afforded me a sports scholarship when I did go off to uni some years later. And that's where I basically went all in on health and performance. And I've coached pretty much just about everybody from the time I was 17, so just over 10 years ago now. I've coached general health and fitness goals as a personal trainer. I've coached people with disabilities, professional athletes, professional boxers, elite amateur boxers, you name it. Along that time, I'd studied sports and exercise science at uni, and then topped it off with a master's degree in strength and conditioning, where I was always working in the gym, helping people understand the mechanisms behind long-term weight loss and performance. 7 years in total it was that I spent on the gym floor. Eventually, after my master's degree, I co-founded a company with my brother Jack called Fitness by Science. We essentially educated new personal trainers to raise the standard of coaching in the UK, and we got some fantastic partnerships where we work with Nuffield Health in the centre of Birmingham. And I just want to give a massive shout out to Bobby, one of our ex-students, who came to me when he was 18, unsure whether to go to uni, unsure whether to go create his own business, and he's now gone viral on TikTok, coaching younger kids with disabilities. Absolutely flying, got a massive waiting list. So if you know anybody who has a disability and wants high quality coaching, you need to message Bobby. So with all of that experience and juggling everything that I was after finishing my master's degree, I basically hit a point where I had to stop doing everything, as I was getting close to burning myself out again. And more on burnout on another video where I'll talk through the science of how to avoid it. So I got to this point and I had mentors, coaches myself at the time, and they really forced me to ask these questions of, who do I really understand? Who do I absolutely love working with? Who can afford the level of support and my level of expertise? And who can I help in a way that's not just going to help them, but create a massive ripple effect to many other people that surround them? And the obvious answer that became just very, very clear was business leaders, people who either own a business or have a leadership role in a business. It literally ticked off every single one of those questions that I just had to ask. And I really haven't looked back since, and I've gone all in on just doing that, as well as going in and delivering talks to also support and help their teams. The people that I help are in that position. They've absolutely excelled in their career, but they've never took the time to really understand what they need to do for their health. And here is the part that's different from probably everything else you've heard online. So it's not about me giving them a new diet, some magic training plan, about telling them they need to wake up at 4 a.m. and do ice baths and journal for 90 minutes. The truth is that's all just surface level stuff. Yes, when someone does work with me, we sort out all of their training, their nutrition, their habits, sleep, everything gets completely dialed in for them. But truthfully, that is not where long-term change really happens. The real change that I help these business leaders achieve is changing how they think. Most people are not out of shape because they're lazy and they want to constantly overeat and be unhealthy. They are out of shape because they've been under stress for far too long and never fully understood how to manage it properly. They also don't know the most effective approaches to use with the minimal time that they've got. Everything someone does on a daily basis, if we root it down, it is all shaped by how they think and what identity that they operate from. If you don't solve things at that level, no plan ever sticks long term. And I'm sure if you're still watching this now, it's because you've been doing this on and off for years and you are sick of hearing the same kind of bullshit of just do this quick fix, just do this and you're going to get to where you want to be in a couple of months, a couple of weeks. But the reality is it isn't going to work because you've done it before and it didn't work then. So why would it work now? I've created this channel for you to change that, to give you the mental tools that you need so that all the physical changes you really want will actually last. I'm going to show you how to think about your training differently, help you understand nutrition in a way that makes sense for your life, that's healthy, convenient, enjoyable, and also lower in processed foods. I'm going to help you build habits that last, and most importantly, handle stress and emotions in a way that allows you to stay in control of your health and your lifestyle. Every video is going to be backed up by an evidence-based approach, which you can see right here. The center point of science, my expert knowledge from 10 plus years of coaching, and also the data that I'm seeing from myself and then from all of the people that I work with. It's only when you get to the middle point of these three things that you know whatever you're coaching, teaching, or doing is well informed. As you watch through this channel, you're going to get to a place where you've got so much awareness of how your body works, how physical training should be done, your nutrition should be done, that you get to choose how to live your life and ultimately get to this place where you can thrive in business, but also thrive with your health. And it will allow you to experience life fully in the way that you want to. So if that sounds like exactly what you need, hit the subscribe button, make sure you like this, share this with somebody else that you know will benefit. And please stay tuned, because I'm going to be releasing videos every single week that solves these problems.